So I'm 26 years old, I'm a millionaire, I'm in the best shape of my life, I have amazing friends, and I can do whatever I want whenever I want to do it. I'm truly free and I'm living the life that I've always dreamed about. And I'm not surprised that I achieved any of this in my life. I basically planned all of it. So I have this journal where, man, I write everything, and I've planned out basically the last 5 to 7 years of my life in this thing. I basically have the roadmap for anyone who wants to achieve anything in their life, not just material possessions and not physical things, but spiritually and internally as well. You have to define what your success looks like. Where do you live? What do you do? What do you eat? What habits do you practice on a daily basis? Basically, in 2020, I was at like this rock bottom point in my life. I had to end up moving back to my hometown after living in beautiful sunny San Diego for the past like 2 years. I was in thousands of dollars of debt. I was addicted to all of these substances, alcohol, and I was away from the beaches, beautiful girls, supercars, and all these highly successful people that I really fought to get myself around. I was at one of the lowest points in my life. I cried, I hated my life, I didn't like wherever I was going. So I actually took this journal and began to write some things down of what I wanted to achieve. If you actually look back on this YouTube channel in 2020, that's when I actually started this whole YouTube entrepreneurial journey thing. But in this book, I put down that I wanted to live in LA, I wanted to make hundreds of thousands of dollars a month, I wanted to be an entrepreneur, I wanted to travel to all these cool exotic places, and just a short 5 years later, every single thing on this list has came true. But I know I'm nowhere near of what I'm destined to achieve or what I'm going to achieve in the future. I put that my business was making hundreds of thousands of dollars per month, even when I had no money to my name and I was still even figuring out what I wanted to name my company. I put that I was in the best physical shape of my life, even when I was addicted to all these substances and alcohol, and I was just basically abusing my body. That's when I wrote down this clear picture of who I wanted to be and the direction that I wanted my life to go in. This has been like a 5 to 7 year success in the making. None of this shit has happened by accident. For the past few years, I wrote down every single thing that I've ever wanted to achieve in this book, and it's actually very scary how accurate I was able to predict my life to where it is today. The first thing that you need to do is define your life. I basically wrote down that I created this life by having a definite aim for what I want to be. And it's not perfect, but it doesn't need to be, but it's an idea of what I want to achieve and the man that I want to become. You need to know exactly where you are going. Take one step at a time and put one foot in front of the other. Yes, you are going to fall on your face and get punched by life, but the nice thing about it is you will know exactly what not to do and probably what to do the next time around. You have to take these small steps if you want to achieve these huge, massive wins in your life. Before I ever had a real business, I was flipping sneakers, I was flipping clothes, I tried to start my own clothing brand. I labeled myself a businessman before I had any business or any company. And 5 years ago, I wanted to be a YouTuber. So what did I do? I just started a YouTube channel. And you guys have to understand that you don't need to have every single thing in your life figured out. I've never had every single thing in my life figured out. I've known that I've always wanted to make a lot of money and be in great shape and be super successful and have all these amazing connections and all these amazing relationships, but I had to take one small step towards every single one of those, and it's led me to where I am today. I wrote down that life is going to test you and how resilient you are. If you can overcome these battles, you will achieve treasures beyond anything you thought that was possible. If you guys could even get a small glimpse of the emotions, the trials, the sacrifices that I've personally had to go through just to get here, man, I honestly think that 95% of you guys would not be cut out for this, but hey, that's just me being real. Me being broke as hell, not knowing what I wanted to do, me seeing my parents struggle, me seeing all my loved ones and my family struggle, and crying in my room because I had zero direction of where I wanted to go in my life. It ultimately was all a test in my life, and when I look back on a lot of these things, I understand that it's God and the universe saying, hey, you want to achieve these things? Okay, pass this test. And I know how it feels like knowing that there's something that you need to accomplish, but you get anxiety because you're not doing the thing. And that's why I have written here that procrastination is the highest form of weakness. You're going to reach this point where you look back and you have a gazillion failures, and that's not a bad thing. That's the way that it needs to be. I don't know why people see failures as these negative things or these endpoints of like, oh my God, I want to do this thing, but I got to this roadblock or I got to this failure, so let me just quit completely. And you guys have to realize that things have to be hard. If they weren't, everybody on the planet would be rich. Everyone on the planet would have tens of millions of dollars. There's this entire mantra that I love to live my life by, and I was actually talking to my therapist about it, that anything in your life, if you choose to do things that are hard in your life will become easy. But if you choose to do things that are easy, your life will be hard. And it's that simple. And I want you guys to actually fully experience and fully understand that as well. And it's not as easy as people think it is. If you feel like you can just write down some goals and all of a sudden you're going to take this stairway to success, man, you have another thing coming. Achieving all these things and building your dream life is way freaking harder than it looks, but it's okay because that's how it's supposed to be. And I've also gotten to this point in my life where I finally fully realize, and I'm content with knowing that the tests, the trials, the tribulations will never ever end. I'm constantly tested by temptation. I'm constantly tested by anxiety, fear, uncertainty in my life. But I've learned how to embrace the challenges and enjoy overcoming these hard obstacles, because every single challenge and every single trial that I've had to face in my life, there has always been a massive reward and a massive benefit on the other side of it. The next thing I did was I did my absolute best to get around other people that wanted the same things or want the same things that I do. When I was broke as fuck, the only thing that I wanted to do was just get around one person who was doing better than me. The point was that they were doing better than me, so therefore I could learn something from them to improve my financial situation of where I wanted to get to. When I started my entrepreneurial journey and I had zero success, the only thing that I wanted to do was surround myself with somebody who had just a little bit of success, even if it meant they were only making like $50 a day. I wanted to surround myself with them to see how they operate, to see how they move, and what they did in their day-to-day activities to at least sort of get their business off of their ground. There was like 2 entrepreneurs in my small ass hometown, and best believe I got around them and I tried to learn as much as I could from them. And one of my best friends from my hometown, who actually owns a fitness company, man, I've learned a ton of things from him. I wanted to get around this dude so bad, and I wanted to learn so many things from him, and I've actually lived with him for almost a year now. We would always shoot these podcasts together, and we would make like all these little short form videos, and it got to the point where we even started a marketing agency, and we were trying to run ads for personal trainers and people in the fitness space and people who were in my space that were in construction, general contracting, and all these home service-based businesses. Seeing someone else that wants the same things as you do is such a breath of fresh air, because it makes you not feel crazy and it makes you not feel insane for wanting these things as well. That's why I absolutely love making these YouTube videos and sharing my story with you guys, because some of you guys are probably watching this video right now and you're just like, man, wow, that dude just gets it. And yeah, bro, I do get it. Being an entrepreneur in this day and age is like such a freaking superpower because of the internet. I can't tell you guys how many entrepreneurial friends I've made who live in all these different states and all these different countries that I've personally never even met. And we all share all these great insights in life, business, health, and basically all the things that I'm into. When I first started my business, I would join all these random Facebook and Discord groups with other people in my industry. I would learn from them. I would jump on video calls with them. They would help me out with my own business strategies, and guess what? I started making more money. I wanted to get into real estate development and I wanted to start a construction company. I paid mentors to learn all of these new things, and sure enough, my construction business is now doing millions of dollars a year now, which is pretty freaking crazy because that's another thing that I actually wrote down in this journal. And I always like to surround myself with people who make me feel that these things are possible. Just this past weekend, I was with one of my super close entrepreneurial friends. This dude is like 15 years older than me, and he owns one of the biggest sales companies in Southern California. He invited me to this yacht party on his yacht in Newport Beach, but he always travels to all these cool and exotic places all across Europe and all across the world with his other high-level entrepreneurial friends, and he invites me, which allows me to expand my social network and increase my success. This inspires me, and I'm at that frequency in my life. And these are the people that I surround myself with. Find the people that you want to be around and make it a priority to spend time with them. And you don't have to do any of these things that I mentioned in any particular order. Almost all of these things are going to compound on top of each other. So you'll do like the first few things, and then you can do the next few things, and then the next few things. All of these things basically work together. There's no one set blueprint to get these results in your life. The next thing I wrote in this journal is to love the good and the bad things in your life, the beautiful and the ugly. Appreciate your struggles, the pain, the poverty, because all of this makes your life worth living. The more difficult something is, the better the story. Appreciate the moment for what it is. You have to understand that there's no final end game in your life. You're never gonna get to this point where you achieve something and you feel so freaking good that like, oh my God, I'm on top of this mountain and I made it and I have nowhere else to go from here. No, it doesn't really work like that. Yeah, I've reached these things that I thought were pretty big milestones in my life, and I've just cruised there for a little bit, but I've always continued to move on to the next thing. People have this dumb concept that once they achieve certain milestones or they obtain certain things that they're going to feel better forever, and it's never really like that. Trust me, I felt amazing when I first started hitting these $20,000, then $50,000 months, and I actually just hung out there for a while. But then I got bored and I wanted to push my limits higher than I ever have before. I kind of felt empty even after I was making really good money, but the only way that I fixed that was by setting new goals and having new things to look forward to. I created this new definitive chief aim for my life. I have a new place that I want to go. I have new people that I want to meet. I have new objectives that I want to conquer, and it's never been about the money, and it never will be. It's about building cool shit, sharing my stories, and showing everyone, even the people who doubted me, that anything is possible. You never want to stay in one place for too long, and that goes for business, relationships, the physical place you're in, mentally, spiritually. You always have to continue to grow and seek new challenges. One of my favorite quotes and mantras in life that I love to live by is complacency is the enemy of progress. My entire life's mission has just been to provide value to society and make myself useful. And after feeling lost for a while, these last few months of all of 2025 have actually made my life way more clear than it ever has been before, and I'm extremely grateful for it. And one of the last few things that I wrote in here is to appreciate the journey, because your struggles may make you cry and it may make you experience anxiety, but all of these things make life worth living. One day you are going to die, so you need to enjoy your life and all it has to offer, because it will fly right by. Man, that's so freaking real. And I think I was talking about this in one of my last videos, but I don't want to go back to being broke, but my life was way more simple and way more easy when I was broke. Now I have to help out my parents, my family, employees, and I have so many people that depend on me. It's like this chain of people that I'm solely responsible for, and I can't mess up from here. It's like that Trav and Cardi song Fiend, where Trav is like, the career is more at stake when you're in your prime, because that is literally my life right now. I literally have no time to waste. I can't afford to not feel like it or not feel motivated to do it today. I have no other choice but to make it happen every single day of my life. The stakes now are actually way higher than they've ever been before in my life. You guys don't understand that all the small stages in your life between uncertainty and your success are so peak peaceful, and you need to learn to appreciate them because they are so short-lived. When I first started my journey, all I wanted to do was make $10,000 a month, but when I got there, I just wanted more and more. You're never going to be satisfied, but understand that that's okay. Just learn to fall in love and appreciate the journey instead of continuing to look ahead when you feel as if everything will be better. Because yeah, sometimes the grass is greener on the other side, but at the same time, it's not. Learn to live in the present and appreciate every single moment of your life because you're never going to get this time back. Never let any amount of success steal away your mindfulness and steal you just basking in the moment. I've since learned to appreciate all these small and tiny things in my life, from running in the sunset, laughing with my friends at the beach, and just getting to work out and talk to the boys. Living in the present moment, whether it's good or bad, means that you appreciate all the ups and downs because every single high in your life also has a low, and vice versa. Don't always get caught up on your dream life because in between your goals lies the present moment, and if you fail to live in the moment, you're going to witness your life fly before your eyes. You only get one shot in your life. There's no do-overs. It's all going to be gone before you know it. Sometimes you just need to sit back and enjoy the tears, the pain, the anxiety, the laughs, the joy, because these are the feelings of what it means to be alive. If you weren't alive, you wouldn't feel joy, you wouldn't feel pain, you wouldn't feel fear, uncertainty, anxiety. These are the signals that make you human and make you, you. I'm basically just ranting at this point, but if you want to build your dream life, this is what you probably should do. And during your journey, make sure to slow down and embrace your life for what it is today in this very moment, because it will never be the same again. For now, I'm just gonna hang out at the rooftop of my place, listen to some music, and just vibe for a bit. But man, you can't beat California. If you guys have never visited, I would highly suggest visiting, especially Southern California. But I hope you guys have a blessed day, and I will see you in the next video.